Many people said last night's Richmond race was boring and not a good race, and I don't exactly agree with that. And I want to lay it out all here. Welcome to your Toyota Owners 400 review race review. So this race was quite interesting. It started with rain tires in the wet on an oval, and it actually didn't result in a wreck fest. And then they slowly got off those tires after about 30 laps, and they made them come in for get slick tires. And it was a non-competitive pit stop, which means that you can come and do a pit stop and you come out in the same exact position no matter what. No matter if you mess up your pit stop, nothing. You can come out. So this track wasn't bad, really. It was a good race to me. It was a lot of strategy involved. There was a lot of pitting. Kyle Busch. I don't even know what to say about Kyle Busch this season at this point. I'm gonna make a video of that. I keep saying I'm going to, but I haven't done it yet. So Kyle Busch gets tight, I guess, or literally just misses the corner. Something. He hit the wall. Nothing happened. It was just a run-of-the-mill racing event. Now he called a caution for him getting up high into the wall. Now I've never seen anything worse from NASCAR. I've seen bad things. I've seen somebody hit the wall at like Las Vegas one time and they called a caution. Like, I think it was like 2014 or whatever, a long time ago. Phantom caution error. I've seen some pretty bad cautions, but I don't think I've ever seen one this bad. I mean, he simply missed a corner, got tight, and hit the wall. I mean, I've never seen NASCAR jump on the caution, but this is what I mean when I say NASCAR wants to see chaos, because NASCAR literally they saw a car get tight, hit the wall, maybe, and they called a caution. They immediately jumped on the caution button. This was after a long green flag run. I know NASCAR doesn't like the green flag runs because every time they get a green flag run, they find a reason to call caution. Not too long ago at Phoenix, there was a caution for after during a green flag run that was questionable to say the least. I don't know if you could even call that caution a good caution. It was just a weird caution, right? Debris cautions, phantom yellows, all such. But other than that, the race is pretty good. There wasn't much passing, but what can you really expect from a short track at night with a next gen car? Instead of complaining about it, let's just accept it because it's what's going to happen until we get rid of this car. Because this car doesn't look like it's fixable, to be fair. There's probably ways to fix it, horsepower, but it's every week with these people. I mean, I don't know. NASCAR fans will sit here and complain about this race being boring while they'll go another week and complain about a race having too many wrecks. But I mean, it's just a green flag run race. It's a normal NASCAR race. So other than that, other than the stages and stuff, it was a pretty good race. Kyle Larson led a good amount of the race, got out of the lead. Kyle Larson had a good race. And I haven't, sorry, I haven't went over any drivers yet. I'll go over drivers in just 1 second. I'm just giving my opinions on the race. But Kyle Larson had a pretty good race. Martin Truex had a pretty good race, and I'll get to that in a second. And Denny Hamlin had a pedestrian race, as he would probably say. Now, let's get into the drivers. Now, the first driver I want to touch on is Joey Logano because NASCAR's website is broken this morning and I can't look at stats the way I want to. I'm gonna have to use my phone here and use some memory from the race. Joey Logano ran good the whole race. He ran up in the top 5, top 10 most of the race, and he started up there. I think I'm not sure where he started, but Joey Logano had a good race. Finished third. He was coming to a second place finish, maybe if Hamlin didn't pass him on that last couple of laps, 3 laps when the caution came out. And I'll get to that caution in a second. But Joey Logano had a good race after saying, I think it was Friday or Saturday, that Ford is off their game. So he's on his game. And his teammate, actually, Ryan Blaney, had a bad race. He finished 27th, I think it was. And he finished back in the pack, which was not Ryan Blaney-esque, but Ryan Blaney is not known to be great at Richmond. So that's 2 stories of the Fords, but that's about it. Suarez and Josh Berry beef because it wasn't really much of a beef. It was just 2 drivers. Maybe a racing incident is what I think it was. I don't think it was anybody racing anybody dirty on purpose. It's a racing incident. Maybe Suarez blocked a little bit, and maybe Josh Berry maybe could have gave him a little bit more inches. So it could have been a it was a wreck that could have been avoided, but it was just a racing incident to me. So I'm not gonna harp on that for too long here. That's about it. Here comes the weekly part where I look at Toyota and rave about it. So Toyota had a great race as normal. Toyota came into Richmond knowing they'd be good, maybe, because they're always good at Richmond. Denny Hamlin would go on to win the race. Denny Hamlin had a good race. He ran kind of neutral the most of the race, kind of. I wouldn't say he ran great the whole race, but he did run. He had a quiet race until he got up in the top 10 off a pitch strategy and top 5 off pitch strategy. I mean, and then ended up getting the win because of a late race restart. Now, this late race restart would come after Kyle Larson would get wrecked by Bubba Wallace. Now, if this ain't some crazy foreshadowing, might be insane, but Kyle Larson would be turned by Bubba Wallace by mistake. Bubba Wallace did say afterwards it was by mistake, but that's besides the point. That would cause a caution, which would lead to the next ensuing drama on the racetrack. Now, if this race wasn't action packed enough for some fans, the end of the race would have been action packed enough. Now, with that caution coming out, that would lead to a pit stop where Truex would lose the lead and some things in the top 5 would get kind of jumbled up. Now, Truex would start in the top lane on the front row and Hamlin would start in the bottom lane. Hamlin had like a 9 second or something pit stop that would put him in the lead and give him a choice for the restart. Now, Hamlin would start on the bottom and this is debatable. I don't think NASCAR fans would have noticed he jumped the restart if Truex didn't say anything about it because they normally don't. I've never even seen a NASCAR fan cry about somebody jumping the restart. But he jumped the restart. It looked like maybe SMT data will say different if that's even put out, but I really doubt it will since that's not public. Now, it looked like he jumped it. It didn't really matter if he jumped it. NASCAR didn't review it. They didn't, or they did review it. It's kind of up in the air if they did or not. I'm sure they did, honestly. But I mean, they had to look at it somehow, right? If it wasn't that egregious, it wasn't that egregious. But he went before the white line, and then Truex would say he didn't have a chance on the restart, I guess. So going into turn 1, he would use him up and give him the right side door. Now, is that racing or is that how you should race your teammate? It's really up to one's opinion. I, in that situation, would have raced Truex the same way because if I'm Ding Hamlin, I just want to win a race, right? Because he's looking at his legacy right now. He just wants to win a race. He's a race car driver. Who cares, right? Now, Truex would throw a couple shots at Larson on the backstretch on that last lap. Now he would turn left down the straightaway, almost looked like what Chase Elliott did. I'm not sure if he was trying to wreck him or just trying to give him the door, but he looked pretty angry, and I think Kyle Larson was just a innocent bystander of an angry man on the racetrack, right? Now, now after the race, he would run into Larson again on the front straightaway and cause some more drama, and then he would take his car that was skewed and probably toe lengths broken, everything on all 4 sides of it, ran around to Hamlin, found him. I thought he was going to congratulate his teammate at first because sometimes they'll go up and give him a little bump to congratulate the teammate, but he hit him 3 times. He gave him 3 serious shots on the back of his car. Now, was that warranted? Maybe, probably. I'm not sure that Truex would have raced him the same way. I think Truex would have gave him the space and gave him a chance at winning the race, but you got to see it in Hamlin's perspective. Hamlin wanted to win a race. Now that all of this drama was caused by Toyota at the end of the race, whether that was on purpose. Now I saw one person say Bubba wrecked his teammate or wrecked Larson on purpose to get a caution. I don't think that was true. It looked like he just overcorrected into Larson from what I saw, but that's that's about it for that. Now, weekly, I kind of have a segment to get an update with what's going on with Kyle Busch because that's my favorite driver here, and this is my show, so I can talk about what I want. All right. So Kyle Busch had a bad race. He would complain of a tight car of no fire off all race, and they would keep adjusting on the car as the pit stops went. Now, Kyle Busch was not happy with the rain. He was not happy with NASCAR's dealing of the rain. I don't think it was that bad. I think Kyle Busch was just angry because he's at RCR and they suck right now. So that's probably the problem for Kyle Busch right now. He's been given a bad car week in and week out. So he was complaining of being tight, no fire off, no short run. And Kyle Busch had an in-car cam today, so I was sitting there watching the Kyle Busch in-car cam as I normally do when he does have an HD in-car cam. He looked tight. He couldn't turn the car at all. He had no entry, no exit, nothing. He looked like he was struggling out there. He would run back and he would slowly drop through the field through the whole race. He would finish that race off somewhere around 27th to back there. He did report a fire on that last caution. I don't know what happened to that. It did sound like there was something going on in car cam. I couldn't tell what, but he did report a fire. during the end of that race. Now, if this race being pretty boring, I'm surprised the video got this long so fast. Now, I'm going to end the video off here because there's not really much else to talk about in this race. So, thank you for watching. The Toyota Owner 400 was a good race. Some people were shaming this race, but I'm going to give my own rating at the end of this video. I've never done this, but I'm going to give this race. It wasn't the greatest race, wasn't most entertaining, but I do like green flag runs where I can see strategy and things and handling when cars play out more often. I'm gonna give this race a 6 out of 10. It wasn't that bad. It really wasn't that bad of a NASCAR race.